the lovely Miss June Ambrose. Please come on down. Yeah. She's got her coffee. She's got her.
It's literally, it's water.
It's water. Come sit here.
Lemon and a tea bag. No sugar. Not doing any more sugar.
No sugar.
It's poison.
It is poison. Did you see Fed Up, the documentary?
I don't want to see anything.
Okay.
I already know it's making me chubby.
You know. Everybody else watch it because it is.
No, but I heard it was really good.
It's really good. It's all about
but
the
those
sugar.
things scare me. Like I was leaving out of like Bloomingdale's yesterday, and the Peter people were out there, and I was like, oh my God, to have to see the stripped down dogs.
Oh.
It was so painful.
Nobody wants to see that.
It was hard.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, what a pleasure it is to meet you in person.
Likewise.
Big fan.
Likewise.
Watching you across the digital world and whatnot with all the things you're doing on. I failed to ask our last interview that I did who she was wearing. I have to ask you first because you look fierce.
Thank you. This is my spring HSN collection. So, yeah.
Hey.
Coming.
soon.
Fall is really good though, and holiday is delish. If any of you follow me on social media, you'll see little things I'm posting, yeah. But I go back on the 11th, go live with the new holiday collection.
When do you sleep?
Oh, sleeping is for mortals.
Oh, that's another quote. Tweet it.
I am
Sleeping
not
are for
mortal.
mortals.
I have
Not.
2 children and a career that's still on the go.
It is on the go, and you are busy. But I want to just go back to the beginning because
Okay, let's
obviously
go back.
a lot of our attendees here today are kind of getting started. They're finding their ground in this business and learning the industry. So I know that you have all of this creative DNA in you, but when did it begin? When was the first experience where you were like, okay, clothes, this is aesthetic, the whole bit was your purpose?
Okay, so I have a very interesting story. So I'm from the West Indies, Antigua, and my mom had an atelier in the islands. She did all the Carnival Queens gowns for, all of the, carnival festivals and stuff like that. So I was there as a child, never really, I have sense memories of it, but not enough to put it together in my adult life, right? And then it's not until I came to this country and then you realize there's so much opportunity, right? And there's so much void. And as a child, I used to literally cut up my grandmother's curtains and design Barbie doll dresses. I used to get into so much trouble. And I was always making and designing stuff, still not knowing that it was a career. Then, I was doing fashion shows in junior high school and high school. I was like doing it. I was producing the shows. I was coordinating it. I was styling it. Still not know. You don't realize your talents sometimes until later on in life. But you know that we all should know we have talent in something. That's the good news, right? So it's just and it's about someone really helping you or giving you the platform to kind of exercise, and you harness it and then you just let it explode. Yes. And when I got to the world of the music industry in the 90s, there weren't any celebrity stylists really. There were costume designers in Hollywood, and then there were the musicians that kind of dressed themselves, right? So there was a void for someone to really come in and character develop the genre of music in which I started, and I started off in urban music. So I worked at Uptown MCA, and I was in the marketing department, and they were, Sean Puffy Combs was just coming out of his internship and becoming an A&R, and he was developing Jodeci and Mary J. Blige and all those, those artists. And I was there, and, I started working in styling and started doing editorial stuff, and mainly the editorial stuff was like something you did in between doing music. It wasn't like my focus. I wanted to focus on developing musicians, character developing musicians. So I brought a costume designer's aesthetic to the world of urban music. And a lot of it was really forced because it was like a forced hand. Designers would not give me clothes. They just didn't see it. Now, you're looking at high-end designers dressing Nicki Minaj and, and Rihanna. You're talking about Balmain and Chanel and all these houses that cannot sell clothes without these pop culture hip-hop stars. Wow, right? So I planted seeds very early in the 90s, and I think those seeds are what we're looking at now. The fruit of all of that is really, you look at this tree, and it's like blossoming with so many opportunities for so many artists. And I think it was because of that change of me saying, okay, you don't want to give me clothes? I'll design it, and I'll get your attention, I'll show you. And whatever I couldn't get, I created. And the music video treatments were so eccentric. I worked mainly with Hype Williams, if any of you know who Hype Williams is. And F. Gary Gray, and a lot of the directors that have gone on to do movies, David Myers and Paul Hunter. I did all of Missy Elliott's, she's a perfect example, Missy Elliott, because no one wanted to give a female rapper that was a plus size and 5 feet clothes. Well, she didn't fit samples, so there wasn't even a conversation, right? So, but no one, they didn't see it, right? So I had to create these costumes, this character, and she was the perfect muse. When I tell you I went rogue with this girl in so many places, we had so much fun. It was probably, I was out of my head, the things that we did. And if any of you can Google some of those videos, you'd be like, what was she thinking?
No, I remember those videos. I was around back then. I remember. You are amazing.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like, but there was, and I think this is important for our audience, it's like you discovered a niche because you realized the void. So you created your business.
And that's what I encourage you all to do, is to, carve out your lane. And I was talking to someone earlier about, I was like, there's still white space. And she was like, well, the white space it seems like it's so much, everything's been done and it doesn't, well, the white space it's really you. You are the DNA of what's new and fresh. You are the creative source between what is next. We really all embody that, and I think that we're constantly always looking to reinvent, but truly what you want to do is kind of, how do I stand out? How do I show someone the power of my creativity? You can't duplicate that. You really can't. You find the right muses for that. You find the right opportunity to showcase that. And you create your own space. You look at it and it's so overwhelming and you're like, oh, there's no room for me, I'm not making it. And you get discouraged. I mean, when I started in the 90s, there weren't 5,000 of me. There are 5,000 of us right now. There are conferences built around stylists and television shows, and it's just the wizard from behind the curtain has been exposed. So with that being said, I think that the marketing of how we market our brands are so different. It has to be. When you think about the fact that I was taking Adidas clothing and reconfiguring it and redesigning it, and then went to Adidas and said, Missy Elliott should have her own collection, is why you see all these collaborations now with celebrities. When you think about the things that, plant your seeds now, because we are the new millennial of what's next. When you talk about the bloggers and the vlogging, all of that stuff, when you talk, well, if you can't style a celebrity or you can't style an editorial, style your neighbor and create the story. Then you vlog and you blog and you editorialize it on your platform. That is the new way. Retail stores have stylists now. So it's like, how do we take our business and grow it? It's happening right in front of us, but we have to start thinking ahead. And when I was living it, I was thinking ahead. How do I want to see my brand in 10 and 15 years? Do I want to be just a stylist in 15 years, in 20 years? Not that just a stylist is a bad thing, but I knew that I had bigger dreams and aspirations, and that was to make over America, to become a household name. How do you do that? You publish a book, which I did, Effortless Style. You create product that you can sell to the masses. You get yourself as much visibility as you can. And for me, it started in YouTubing. I was YouTubing videos of myself, not even knowing that I should be on television, but knowing that I was comfortable enough to be in front of the camera. Some of us aren't comfortable enough to be in front of the camera, but doesn't mean that you're not a star. You can be stars in any room. What is star power? Confidence. It's key. When you walk into a room, know that you are the light. And you walk in and you own it, and I guarantee you will attract anything and everything that you want. That's the message today, is really understanding the power of who you are.
And that's belief. That's just belief. It's all here and here.
It's here. It's head and heart.
So true.
Yeah.
In those early days, though, when you were working with Hype Williams and you were starting to do videos and all of that, obviously you are very much a self-starter, but you positioned yourself, and that is key. So what advice do you give to this audience to, get in the door at all? That's half the challenge.
Oh yeah, don't miss an opportunity. Like, you don't miss it based on, oh, well, I don't have this yet, and I haven't done this yet, so I'm not gonna go for this yet. It's like, jump in and learn how to swim. Because every opportunity, whether it's small, whether it's assisting someone, whether it's blogging for someone, whether it's doing some research or fabric sourcing, anything that is an extension of the nucleus of what it is. So if you're working with a stylist and she says to you, I just need you to go and get me 20 swatches of fabric, you might think, girl, I am not your messenger. You can't, that is not me putting clothes together. Why am I going to get 20 swatches of stylist? Because you're learning, there's so many things in that exercise. When I take on, apprentices, I'm teaching them things that are going to serve them so long down the way. So don't don't discredit anything. And I also say, you be nice to everyone and every person. The assistant, the secretary, the person picking up the garbage. Someday, it's believe it or not, they turn out to be CEOs and the person you one day may need to ask for a job. It sounds crazy at the time, but everyone you come in contact with is someone that you can create and form an opportunity to do something with. I mean, we are all kind of, I think, separated in somehow 60 degrees of separation. Now it's even closer because we have social media. So we all feel like, right now I feel like you're all in my Juniverse, and you're all planets, and we're all coming together, right? So, name and claim your planet. And just kind of like, don't miss the opportunity. Like when you land on something, talk to each other. Conferences like this are so important. Share information, follow up, send a handwritten thank you or it was great to meet you. I met someone today, she didn't have a card. I said, no big deal, e-card someone. I was sitting across from a woman emailing them we were emailing each other, right? I didn't pull out a card. We were emailing, and immediately we're now in contact with our emails, which an email is like a phone number these days, right? But then you go even further once you have that contact and you follow up with, can I send you a note or send you a thank you? Things that other people aren't doing, you want to start to do. Bring back old school things and make them new school. Because those are the things like, when you think about vintage clothing, they still have value. There's still a lot of value in picking up the phone and cold calling. And no one does it anymore. Everyone's like, oh, I sent an email, she didn't call me back. We'll figure something else out. Find that person's assistant, stand outside and wait. Just figure it out, but don't give up.
Figure it out. What's the name of your planet you're living on, by the way?
The Juniverse.
The Juniverse.
Oh, what's my planet? Well, I'm in the Juniverse, so it's my universe. So
you have planets within the
universe. I
universe.
have planets within it, yeah. Like I think my daughter and my son and everyone that come in contact they're the planets.
I love that.
Yeah.
You were talking about, relationships to a degree, and there are the relationships of people you're working with or working for. But how important and crucial, I know part of your story is that, in the days when you started doing print and whatnot, you don't have the one tunnel vision where my job is stylist and I'm going to do this. You almost learn everybody's job within what you're doing. Why is that critical?
Well, I think that creatively, I look at things like canvas. So when you're thinking about an artist and you're thinking about the space, and I think that's what Instagram is kind of designed for us. When you look at a picture, you want to say, let's fill in this space. Let every corner, every white space on this blank canvas mean something, right? So I look at things like my relationship with a makeup artist is going to make this image 3D. My relationship with the hairstylist is going to give this height. It's going to give it concept. It's going to finish off my story. Everyone that's involved in painting the picture is so important. The clothing is so important because it's all about storytelling. Those relationships and having conversations with designers, if you're not a designer but you have relationships with designers, those are so important because those evolve and they paint that picture in so many different ways. I mean, I've recreated. You go from something being blank to something being colorful. You go from something being drab to something bringing it light, adding things, punctuation, storyline. It's all storytelling. And I think that I look at it, though, like I would look at it when I'm taking a photo. How do I fill in this space?
You have had so much success. You are the light we're talking about. Can you recall a period or a time or an experience in your early days or maybe yesterday when, it all fell apart and then June's universe was like all exploding and
it's always falling apart.
And it was, is it always? Is it?
No, I always get butterflies. I'm always under construction. I love that I'm still nervous. Every project, everything I do, I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about it. It makes me feel alive. And when it feels too easy, then I feel like I'm not experiencing it. And it's always been a fight. You will fight your entire life, you know what I mean? You'll get knocked down, but you get right back up. I mean, it's so, even on my worst day, I laugh and smile. because it's just a moment, so you don't let it consume you, but you share the feeling and the expression. Some people meditate. I love to meditate. I meditate. Some people have a confidant. There's so many different ways in which we have outlets to express what we're going through. But I say it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel like this isn't easy. It's therapeutic. I mean, it's a psychological journey every day. Just getting out of bed, you're a winner. If you could just get up and get out, you win. So don't feel like because everything is not happening at one time that you're not winning. You're winning with opening your eyes and getting out of the bed, getting in the shower, and just making one phone call, sending out one email. And it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So for all of you who think this is gonna happen overnight, it's not. And it's not gonna be easy, but you have to know that nothing good comes easy. And it shall pass. It rains, the sun comes out. The clouds fill the sky, they eventually break away. We are constantly moving, and as long as we're moving, that feeling of I'm not winning, I'm not successful, I'm having a really bad day, this person said no, it really all is temporary. And for those who say they don't like you is because they don't know you. And what other people think about you is really none of your business. So you kind of have to, when you walk into a room and you want to help someone, and we're in a help industry, a life-changing industry. So don't bring all of that to the yard. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're going through and whenever you're it's like, think of yourself as a doctor. Doctor's having a bad day and he's curing something. The patient can't know about it. An anchor person shows up to deliver the news every day. We can't know that someone just passed away. We can't know that you have a cramp, or you know what I mean? You learn to be this chameleon, this superhuman being. That's why I said I'm not mortal. You feel your superpower when you can overcome being able to show up and not let it show.
I call that soldiering on. I get in my soldier
mode.
You
know that you're on television every day, so you get it.
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking about. I was like, you'd think I never had a bad day, right? Because people on TV you
don't have bad days,
you
right?
Don't have bad day because you really are performing. Right. You go through a divorce, you're on the floor in your dressing
That's
room,
right.
the light goes on, 3,
That's
2,
right.
and we're live around the world. Woo-hoo! Yeah, I've been there, but you soldier on.
You soldier on,
right?
You soldier on.
You do.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one defining career moment where it's like the moment that you're like, oh, the sky's opened up, like what was it for you?
I had a lot of moments, and I think because I'm constantly staying present because I want to experience it. I'm always like so conscious of I need to be present, and because we can leave the building. Creative people, we're all over the place, and I leave the building, so I struggle to stay in the moment. But I think the moment that I really kind of like spiritually collapsed and was just like, it was when I got the galley of my book, Effortless Style, and I was on the corner of 6th Avenue and 57th Street, Central Park South, and I got a phone call, and I hadn't opened the envelope yet, and I'd gotten my first write-up, and it was a great review on the book, and I hadn't even looked at the galley yet, but all the editors got the galleys, and I opened it up, and I'm on the corner, and I had the first book in my hand. And for some reason, I just started boo-hooing. It's like, because it just felt like all of these years, I'm able to kind of share and give back something, because you feel like you're taking, I felt like I was taking, and I was getting so much, and I wanted to give back. And I couldn't believe I got it done, because it's not easy. And I had worked really hard on it, and it felt really good. And it felt like that was like an aha moment that it was, what it was at that moment was my style biography, my style autobiography. It was a how-to help book. And when you think about your autobiography about your life, which I'm not there yet, that was, for my career, that was the biography of what I had learned along the way and what I could then, give to some people that wouldn't have necessarily access to me.
Yeah, and it's like you were holding it, something tangible
something
that like
tangible.
Represented all that you had done for so many years.
And who I dedicated it to, and I felt like, my kids will have this, and I felt like I officially can leave this behind. It will infinitely go on forever, and that felt really good.
That is very cool.
That felt really good.
How's Oprah?
Oprah was amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Oprah was amazing.
Like you in
your career, you think if I could just land on her show once, right? I was beyondly blessed to land on her show, not as like someone who came in to do a style expert, segment, but someone who was being recognized for doing things that they love. And the show is about women who love what they do for a living. And I had worked in investment banking, and I didn't love what I did for a living. And I told an Oprah producer that, and they recognized that as being a game-changing experience for a lot of people who really were not miserable in their jobs. But I said this to my niece and nephew the other day. I said, don't just get a job. You need to have a career. Because a career is something that you really work hard to build, evolve. Whether you're an entrepreneur or not, you can work at a company and have a career. You can be an entrepreneur and have a career. But the career versus a job is so different of an experience. And when I worked in investment banking, I had a job because I didn't want to be a banker. That wasn't going to be a career for me. So I knew that I had to find a career. And when I found it and I started my own company, I knew at that moment that I was going to work really hard to make this experience amazing. And this journey continues. I'm not there yet. I'm still working. It's like because I know that until I close my eyes forever, that I'm still on that journey and that I'm still working to build my career.
What do you say to some of these folks who might, be doing the 9 to 5 to make ends meet? They gotta pay the bills. They might have kids, and people hear that a lot. Do what you love, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard
when you're 30.
There.
It's easy when
how do people know when is the right time
to make the move?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the dynamics of knowing when to make the move. When I made the move and I quit my job, and I was making at the time $45,000 a year, which was great money in the 90s. And my mom was like, "You quit your job to take an internship?" It was mind-blowing to her because I had insurance. I had a portfolio, which I wasn't going to lose my portfolio. That was the advantage of working at the firm. I learned so much about business, and if I was going to be an entrepreneur, that I needed certain things in place. So I say, have a plan. When I say a plan, not necessarily like, oh, I want to style this person 15 years from now, but what am I going to do when I retire? Do I have a 401k? Do I have workman's insurance in case I break my leg because I can't work? There's so many different things. And what am I going to do about insurance in case I become ill? So there's so many different things that you need to have in place. I was fortunate enough where I had a great portfolio and I had put away a lot. But I also hit bottom in that process. I used up all my credit cards. I was feeling sexy, because I was getting a check weekly. And I had money put away in stocks, but I had no liquid. And I had credit card debt. And I was just, it was becoming very not clear. And I was fortunate enough to when I hit bottom, put some people in place, a great accountant and a great business manager. And it seems like, I can't really afford all that in the beginning, but you might want to be able to afford the advice of it in the beginning. And you can do it yourself until the company grows and you need to be able to now retain someone. But the good thing is Google is your friend, and there's so much information about the things that you need to do when you're pursuing an entrepreneurial, endeavors, when you're looking to start your own company, when you're looking to freelance, when you're looking to leave your job. How do I leave my job? What do I have that I can live off of while I'm pursuing this because I'm not going to be getting paid? Which is extremely difficult. Some people have trust funds, some people don't. You have to trust your fund. You have to trust your own funds, and so it's like you have to figure out: am I going to, do tables at night? Am I going to take a weekend job? Am I going to do closets? Whatever. And then you have a baby, and you think, well, I don't have a babysitter, so I can't work. Hold up. If you take a job that's paying you $500, how much is a sitter? Okay, great. I'm going to give you $125, but I'm still making, I have $475 left, and that's not. Is that right? No, $375. Okay, it's $375. Okay. So you just kind of do, don't get caught up in, the money without thinking it out. Because you start thinking, I need money, that now it's not fun. And it should be fun, right? So you have to figure out financially, dynamically, how you can get this done. But it's not impossible. Because I've had interns that were doing tables at night, they were working nighttime jobs, they were freelance, they were giving blood. I mean, whatever you need to do. It's like, They were trading in bottles. I mean, listen, if you want it bad enough, you will. There's so many hustles. You babysit on weekends, you freelancing, and you're saying, I need this babysitting job. I'm going to be a nanny. I'm going to be just, there are things. I'm going to blog for 3 hours. I'm going to get some freelance writing if you have that skill set. There are things.
Do the hustle. One last question, but I just want to remind you guys to please tweet in your questions for June, because we'll read those in just a second. But you know, everybody loves to hear about celebrities, and I know you know a lot of them and have worked with a lot of them.
Yes.
Where do you want to name drop, or do you want me to? Mariah Carey, Kelly Ripa, Sierra. The list is very long.
Yeah.
Do you ever fangirl out with anybody or everybody? Nobody?
No.
No.
No, my God, what does that mean? Like,
Well,
do I like, oh my,
You're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like work with him tomorrow, and I hope I can do my usual me. You know? Not really.
Never.
That probably serves you well, obviously.
I've never had that moment.
No.
Part of it because I think the only autograph I wanted was on a check. No. It was like I was coming from like, I started in the industry with this kind of like air about me. Like, here's the thing, like, if you're an artist, they're artists. It depends on how you see yourself, right? And I came from corporate America, and I saw myself as this kind of like executive, so I held myself to really high regard. You know, I was like, I'm an educated woman, and I'm not gonna allow you to treat me like a shopper, pick up my clothes, and when you drop something, it's gonna stay there. So it's really how you want people to treat you is what you give and what precedence you set from inception. If you're a bitch, you'll be treated like a bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, if you are, loving and understanding, then that's what you will receive back. And I just, I don't judge, and I don't, I go in with a very open mind, but I go in with this collaborative kind of energy. And I think that the respect level is there because from inception, you're saying, I'm here, it's not about me, to work with you and help you to super exceed your vision. I'm here to make you feel good. And there are days where I have to be the emotional, mental beating bag, where they aren't very nice. But I know that it's not about me, so I don't take it personal. And I don't let that change me. So you don't want an experience to change you. And in this industry, because we're so close to it, and because you see them stripped down, and you see them naked, and you see them vulnerable, you are more than what you think you are when you first walk in the door. That's why I would say the power that we possess as it relates to changing someone's life, and not only their life, but how we impact the consumers. We are in such a great place right now. Bloggers and stylists and floggers and, PR and marketing. It's a different time and a different world, and you have to know the power you possess. And you need to demand the respect, and you do that by not allowing it to be a hobby, by not allowing someone to devalue. Everyone said to me, Sarah Boyd, you're a genius. Why? Because you understood the importance of getting a community of elitists together, sharing ideas, and helping us to understand that if we don't preserve the integrity of this industry, it will continue to grow with people who aren't worthy of holding the titles that they're holding, devaluing that brand, and then you being treated as if you're just. No, I am the CEO of my life, and you will treat me with that kind of respect.
Yeah! I want that on my business card.
It's that simple.
That's good. Is that going to be in your next book, I hope?
That is tattooed on my brain.
Can you please give us a book like that? You're full of affirmations and quotes and such. I think that's got to be your next thing, girl.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
That and
we
cooking.
called it. We called it. Okay, are you guys tweeting me questions for June? I'll read a couple here real quick. Let me see if I can pull them up. Seriously. Okay.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys are tagging me, though. I might have to use your phone again, Sarah. Because if they're not
they
tagging
were
me,
tagging
it's not showing up.
Ooh.
Yep, I need yours.
A tweet frenzy?
She's
No one
she's
had
the
any questions.
No,
Maybe
they've got him. She's just got the Simply Stylist official account.
Uh-oh. Her and the baby.
Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, see, you're already being quoted. I am the CEO of my life. Okay, here's a good one. Where's Tamasha? Chic Confessions, right here in the front row.
You secretly was doing that.
Nice. She says, June, what legacy do you want to leave and ultimately be remembered for?
I think that I want to be remembered for how I made people feel when they experienced me. You know, did she make me laugh, want to cry? Did she make me feel good? I've always been that from a child. I've always wanted to make people feel good. And I think that I want my legacy to be, when I met June Ambrose, she just made me feel good. That's an okay legacy, I think.
Okay, Vita Fashionista, where are you? This is amazing. She says, June, can I be your intern?
You know, there's a crazy thing going on with interns. You interns are suing. So if you are a corporate company like myself, we do paid internships, and I do them. I quicker hire a PA for a big project and stuff like that. So I have assistants, and when my projects get really big, I'll take on people. So you should make sure I get your information.
Wait, I have a couple interns. Why are they
hiring? If you work them a certain way and you're not paying them something, they can then come back to tell you, they can come back and sue you.
Okay, note to business manager.
Yeah,
all right.
It's true. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Work on that.
Yeah.
Okay, Elizabeth from Royale Diary. Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
She asks, who is your favorite celebrity to style?
Ooh. My daughter Summer. No, I'm kidding. Hi, Summer. Favorite celebrity to style? Ooh. Now what kind of person? I like the females. I've worked with a lot of men along the way, but do you want me to name a person, or do you just want me to speak kind of ambiguously?
She wants a name. Come on.
You want a name?
Yeah, come on, June. Give us one.
I gotta tell you, I really, I've had a lot of fun with Mary J. Blige, but I really had a lot of fun with Missy. Because what we did back then was just, I mean, she never said no. She was just like, she was the kind of girl you want to date, you know? She's like, yeah.
So much fun.
Yes. I had fun with her.
I interviewed Mary J. on the carpet the other night in Los Angeles for E! News, and I had a total geek out moment.
She's so cool.
After the interview, because I interviewed her like quickly a couple times for other things, but I had a moment, and we were having a moment, and then at the end I was like, what's the 411 Sweet Thing? That album, like in '93 or whatever. That was my jam in college. And she was like,
iconic,
that's nice.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, I was like bowing down, and she was like, okay.
No, but you.
No, she was cool.
She deserved
actually.
That.
She did. I had to tell her. I was like, that was on in my dorm room, like every day.
I have no problems giving up adulation.
Yes.
You know, we don't have to spaz out like, but like homage
on the
and
inside, not on the outside.
No, but you know, I mean, like totally. I pay homage for sure. I definitely give credit where it's due.
Ro Williams Brand. Ro Williams Brand. Are you still here? There she is. Hi. She asks, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of being a hashtag rock mom? Time, balance, sacrifice.
I think challenging probably the amount of time you spend, because you really want to stay home and bake cookies, and you know, if I could have been like a stay-home mom, I am grateful that I was able to bring my kids along the way with me all the time until they started school and their schedules changed. But they used to be on sets. They were in trailers. They have pictures of themselves, you know, on Jay-Z's neck being carried around, you know, music videos. I mean, being bounced on, you know, Kelly Rowland's lap. I mean, they just really, you know, Zoe Saldana flirting with my son. I mean, just have great memories and moments. I think that because I was able to always take them everywhere with me, but I think the challenging part is really just dynamically having to say no to certain things because you refuse to compromise and not be there for certain moments in their lives. Because as I was building my career, I missed so many moments with my family. Like, there was a time I was like to my sister, you got married? No, I'm like, I'm kidding. You had kids? Like, you know, I was just always gone. Like, I was hustling and I was jet setting and I was doing like 4 music videos in a month, and I don't even remember a lot of things that was going on with my family. Then when I started my own family, I said, there's certain things that I just won't compromise. So it was either they can come along or I'm just not going to be able to do this.
No, I love that. I love your daughter's here today. That's nice that you can do that too.
She's
when
very
you're your
supportive.
own boss, it's a good thing, right?
My kids are really supportive. I was in Southeast Asia and Australia for 8 weeks, and I never got a phone call about like, you abandoned me, you left me. They were amazing. And you know, I cook dinner before I leave home so that if I'm not going to make it home by 6 and 7 o'clock, they can just warm food up and stuff like that. And I have a great partner, so I don't do it alone, you know. It helps. It helps to have a dad.
Yeah. Takes a village, I say.
Yeah, it takes a village.
I think maybe just time for one more. We're out of time. Monica Sanguinetti, did I say your name right? Yeah. Yay. Okay, this is a good question. What was your, she says big break, but first job where you received recognition?
Oh, that
and
I
how did you
received
land it?
recognition. Okay. When I received, because when I was my first job and then when I received, because you don't receive recognition from your first job.
Right.
That's like when you have your firstborn and you put his diaper on backwards.
Yeah.
So it's like when it starts to get crazy. I think when I started doing like long form music videos, like the R. Kelly Down Low, the Backstreet Boys being like the first boy band and High Five. I mean, I think it was, oh God, you know, there was so many moments along the way where people were like, who was responsible for this blow-up suit? June Ambrose? Okay, who was responsible for putting Puffy in a shiny suit? You know, so I think there were always these moments along the way. When was my first? Oh, I feel senile in that. Yeah. There were a bunch of them, in a sense. I don't remember what my first was.
Because you were making noise. That was it.
Yeah, and
you
know,
were making noise.
I was not even thinking about recognition. I got to tell you, I didn't even know what money I was making. If I didn't have an accountant to pile it all up, I was just working. And I didn't even want to know. I was like, because that would change it for me. You know, like if I had to say, like if I had to, like, and I had my own, I never had an agent. I always had my own agency. I never had an agent, which is very crazy too. So again, it's just a different time. Like I didn't go to a big agency. I had someone that I hired to do all my bookings and all my stuff because I was out there marketing myself and soliciting and bringing the jobs in. I needed you to kind of handle this is what I want to make, negotiate it. I didn't want to be that bad guy, so I hired someone to do that for me. And she worked for my company, and that's, you know, and then I met my husband, and then he was coming from the music business, so he knew all the numbers, and we partnered, and he took over the agency. We had hair, makeup, and photographers, and we focused on that for a couple of years, and then we focused on my brand, and we now just focus on the June Ambrose Inc. And that's what we're doing, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add that you want to share before you get back to work? She's working.
I know, right? I'm like, what am I going to cook for dinner tonight? No, I'm having chicken. I think I should do chicken chili because that's easy. I just want to say thank you, Sarah, for not giving up on getting me here. It's always a great feeling when you feel like you're giving something, but truly I'm getting something back. The energy in this room is great. The fact that you all showed up today, I think, is amazing. It says that you're invested in your time. You find your time to be valuable. You're invested in your life. And I think that's half the battle, that you are truly invested in who you are and who you want to become. Don't give up on that dream. Don't give up on that journey.
Yeah, baby. Give it up for June Ambrose. You're phenomenal. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Mwah. So inspiring.
Thank you.
And if I just have a couple announcements because this is the end of this portion of the day. So there's a whole lot more going on, though, outside of this room. So it's the brand experience, you guys. Dove is going to be there with its award-winning dry spray and see, I'm messing up the Dove messaging. Am I saying that right? Antiperspirant?
Because you
I just call it deodorant. You know?
Tell them you're fresh off a plane.
I am fresh off a plane.
And she's wearing it right now, her Dove.
I am wearing my Dove. See, you're good. You're right.
We've been through that media training.
Exactly.
Message points.
Yes. There's a fashion illustrator out there, you guys, who can draw up your hashtag outfit of the day, OOTD. And the Glam app is going to be doing complimentary hair, makeup, and nails. And fab giveaways and contests. Oh, and we're sitting on, the chairs we are sitting on. How cute are they?
They're chic.
This entire lounge today, a big thanks to Dot and Bo, and an art wall out there by Minted that you can check out. So,
There's
you
no
can't
parting
take
gifts?
the chair, June.
So good.
You can't take the chair. Where are you going to put that? Where are you going to put that?
Good.
So a big thanks to June. A big
Thank
thanks
you.
from me personally to Sarah as well for having me. I think this is maybe my 10th Simply Stylist, maybe 12th,
Yeah.
15th, I've lost count.
Jesus.
And a big thank you to all of you for all of the love on social. I've been seeing it and reading it, and thank you for being here today. See you out there. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for watching and so glad that you're here. You could just take a moment and subscribe to our channel. You can do it by clicking here, over here, over here, or wherever that subscribe button is. Just click it. You'll get everything directly sent to you, first to know of all things Simply Stylist. Thank you so much, and if you don't, this dog is coming after you.